So everybody, welcome back to another video. So today we're gonna be just reacting to Iman's new video, right? This is gonna be a normal thing. We're gonna be reacting, to get our thoughts and just try to get the character, right? But before we start, of course, um, the little update. Iman still hasn't DM'd me, but I'm waiting for that, and I will continue to wait on that one DM from him. Right? It will happen. It will happen. I'm for sure. But if it doesn't, I got a different plan. That's in the works, right? But yeah, join the Discord if y'all actually want to talk. We have like weekly calls, and So, but yeah, let's get into the video. So, what we're actually gonna be reacting to is gonna be our new video, which is called Five Traits of the Top 1% Man, right? And yeah, let's just get into this video, of course.
All right, listen to me very closely because life for the top 1% of men is better than it has ever.
I like to say that his intros, I mean, they're just fire. I'm trying to get to the point where I'm actually gonna be editing a lot more, right? So I'm trying to figure out what actually helps me. But yeah, let's get back.
Ever been. And for the other 99% of men, it is more depressing than it has ever been because you see, contrary to what they
Fair enough, what he actually says. I mean, it's pretty bad, to be honest. I mean, what do you have to do? You have nothing to do, basically, right? That's why trying to get to that stage. So, I'll actually be able to do something, and my camera is a little bit off, but yeah. So I can actually go around the world, do different things. Let's get back into the video. I'm just gonna be commenting on this one. So it's gonna be like a
tell
20-minute video, right? Nothing
tell
much.
you in the media, life for a man is actually quite hard. It's a video game where you start right at the beginning at level 0, and every single day you have to work to level up. You see, because if you don't, some other guy will, and that guy will take the money that could have been yours, the life that could have been yours, and this is going to be very, very, very difficult for you to hear right now, but even the wife that could have been yours. And I really want you to let that sink in.
I mean, you gotta think about everything that you're losing out if you're just at home or just, you could be losing on a lot, right? If you're just at home doing nothing basically. So that's what just sink it in, right? So try to do your best, right? That's what it's all about. Try to do your best. But let's get into the video.
I want you to imagine right now your dream woman. What does she look like? How does she carry herself? What kind of an incredible mother is she to your future children? How proud are you to have her by your side? You have that image in your mind? Okay, cool. Now I want you to imagine her with another guy. Make it graphic, make it sting, make it hurt.
Yeah, you should basically just do that since it's definitely gonna help you with the actual whole it's like a motivation, right? It should be like a motivation to you. If you ask me, right, of course. So basically you just do that, right? It will help you.
Because you just lost your future wife, the future mother of your children, to another man because you decided you're gonna fuck around with some video games while the other guy every single day put one foot forward in front of the other and leveled up and left you behind. That is the cold, harsh reality for men. It is competition 24/7. There is no rest. And that
That's what I was literally saying, right? Just don't be at home and just doing your video games. Actually do something. Self-improve. If it's just going to the gym. That's how I started, just going to the gym. Now I'm doing videos and soon I hope I'll be in a whole ass business, right? But yeah, just do that. It will definitely help you. Self-improvement is on the way.
That is precisely why you need to become a high value man. Now, there is a big misconception as to what is actually a high value man. And that's because most of the guys that you watch online either don't know what it actually means to be a high value man or simply have not been in the trenches long enough. You cannot be in the trenches for 2 years and think that you're going to be a high value man. And we'll get onto that in just a second. I'm going to share with you guys 5 things in this video, and all 5 need to be true for you to call yourself a high value man.
I mean, there's a lot of things, and some people call themselves a high value man, even though they're like basically in what is it? In the early years of, if they only have money and just their personality is whack, basically, and their body and that, if you just have money, it doesn't mean anything, right? So you gotta have a whole lot of things, right, to actually be the top 1%, which I hope everyone watching me and watching all of these people is trying to be, right?
This is not easy. This is not a thing that you're going to get done in the next 3 weeks or 6 months. This is a commitment. But what other option do you have? Now, the first step in order to become a high value man, and this is really where I see past the facade of a lot of the manosphere community, a lot of the red pill community, a lot of, what used to be the pickup community. The first step is you need to remove any crutches. Let me make something clear. You should be rich. You should have a good body. You should have abundance with women. But if you use those as crutches, well, then you simply can't be high value. Everyone thinks that they're going to get a six-pack and then, all of a sudden here you are, high value, or they think they're going to get rich. I see this a lot as well. They think, well, once I'm rich, I'm a high value man. No, you're not. Because you need to understand, especially when you're dealing with a certain caliber of guy or a certain caliber of girl, it's a commodity. Everyone has a good body. Everyone's rich. It's expected to even just get into the room. It's a prerequisite. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been up.
So that's what I was thinking about. You just cannot have one. You gotta have all of them to be the top 1%. So that's what I'm actually doing, going to the gym. That is the first step. Actually having some kind of network with people, that is one of the last things I should be doing. But with this YouTube channel, I'm getting some people, So yeah, but being rich, right? It's not everything about that.
Uploading publicly on YouTube for 7 years. You can go back to me at 15 years old when I was doing all the things right. I was meditating every single day. I was reading a book a week. I've been doing this self-improvement stuff for as long as I can remember, publicly on YouTube, longer than anyone else I know, and documenting it. And I only felt high value maybe 2 years ago, 18 months ago. I mean, imagine that. I was 19 years old and here I was, multi-millionaire, the girls, the travel, the good body, social status, everything, you name it, I had it. But I still knew I wasn't a high value man. I still knew I wasn't that guy. I look like that guy, but I wasn't that guy deep down because I didn't face the boy. I was still a little boy because I didn't face my insecurities. I may have been the man, but I didn't feel like the man. At the end of the day, if everything else gets stripped around you and the only thing that's left is you as a person, if you would feel naked, if you would feel exposed, well, then these are simply crutches and you're not that guy yet. And that is why I don't believe from scratch you can become a high value man. It's at least a 5-year journey.
Yeah, basically. So it's not gonna happen in an instance, right? You gotta work for it. But damn, I mean, he's saying a lot of stuff, which is all, to be honest, true, right? From his perspective. In my perspective, I actually think it's pretty logical what he's saying. So yeah, I mean, just get into the video, right?
Because first you work and you accomplish and you strive and you conquer and you do all these things that from the outside make you look like the man, but then you actually need to become that guy. And you will know deep down in your heart of hearts when you've accomplished it. And that leads us into the next way to become a high value man. In order to become a high value man, you must reimagine the timeline. You see, most of you guys think that you're going to become a high value man within 1 or 2 years, and it's simply not going to happen. I've never seen it happen in less than 5 years because there's so much internal work that goes along with it. As I mentioned, first you do, and then you become. Every time.
So yeah, I mean, this is how it looks in most probably things, right? You first got to do something to actually become it. So for an instance, you gotta first go to the gym to actually become, in a good physique. So that's what it's about, right? Right, basically, same in money. You gotta work hard enough to actually be on the level, right? So you actually get one day on that level of money, right? So you gotta work hard though.
Someone gets success, they then need to fully integrate into that identity and into that success. For me, it took 7 years from the age of 14 when I really started my self-development journey all the way up until basically my 21st birthday. That's really where I started to feel like, okay, I don't feel like I have anything to prove. I feel like a high value man because of who I am, right? Because of my abilities, because of my capabilities, not because of the things I have around me. And it's very hard to explain, but you just look in a guy's eye. It's the demeanor, it's the way he carries himself, how self-assured he is. It's hard to describe. You just know, you can see it. So for me personally, as I said, it took 7 years. For you, it might take 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. But what is your other option? It is a long, long, long process. But as I said, what's your other option? Because there is a guy right now who is robbing you of your future life because you simply refuse to face your insecurities, your past traumas, all the things that most people don't really talk about. But all the reasons why when you hang out with influential guys, you hang out with girls, they'll be able to read through you. They'll be able to see, even though you look like you're the man, you're just a little boy. And until you work on that, you're never going to be able to attract the people that you want in your life. Now, the third thing you need to do in order to become a high.
So yeah, basically just try to become it, right? Don't act like it, become it, right? So you want to become the thing, right? Not just act like it, you want to be it, right? That's what you want to be, right?
Value man is have ultimate true freedom. So that means financial freedom, location freedom, and time freedom. Listen to me, I would rather make $100,000 a year and be able to live anywhere in the world, be able to work remotely, and be able to build the systems and processes so that way I have a great team who takes care of it. There's no such thing as passive income. Don't let anyone tell you that, oh, it's just passive income. You just set it and forget it. No, everything breaks down. You know, just like a car, just like the things in your house. When
That's really fair enough how he said it though. Literally nothing like passive income probably in the world. Everything will break one day, right? It's not gonna be passive forever. If it even was passive anytime, right? But yeah.
When you have things in your life that are tested that you put volume through, let's say that's even your shoulder, you know, with enough time and not taking care of it, it can blow out, right? It's the exact same thing with your business. Don't think that you can just build something and then just set it and forget it and it's just going to spit out money and never break. So there's no such thing as passive income, but there is leveraged income, using leverage in order to find the right people, in order to find the right solutions to actually deliver the service or the product or whatever it is that you're doing. So I would much rather make $100,000 a year and have location and time freedom than make $1 million or hell, even $3 million and be stuck in one city and have someone tell me, hey, at this time you come to office, at this time you have to leave. You don't have a say in when you get to go to
It's a pretty interesting, kind of different thing he did in how he said it, right? He would rather make 100K than 1 million, like to three even million a year, which is a pretty high difference. But to be honest, fair enough. He will have like the time, right? The freedom. He could go everywhere, So I mean, that's an actual good statement, though.
the gym, when you get to hang out with your friends. Oh, you got invited on a really fun trip with your friends? Too bad, you already used your vacation days for the year. And the funny thing is, when I say this, people think like office jobs, right? But they're forgetting about the footballers. They're forgetting about the actors. They're forgetting about all the famous people they look up to and think, oh, they have freedom. Well, they don't. They had a team, they had a manager, they had people in their corner telling them, look, we haven't made enough money this year. We haven't sold enough tickets this year. And, you know, I've talked
That I didn't even think about that, to be honest. So yeah, fair enough. He had me on that
about
point.
this stuff a lot, so I really don't want to hammer the point home any further. So just remember, you need true freedom, and true freedom is not just making a lot of money. Now, the fourth thing you need in order to become a high value man is some sort of adversity in your life. So either that adversity and hardship is forced on you. For example, with me having to support and take care of a single mother, that was really not the easiest thing to come to terms with at the age of 8 or 9 years.
Yeah, my adversity probably is gonna have to be my family's 100%, to be honest. So I kind of feel what he's saying right now. I gotta you know step up for my family, right? So they can have a good life and I can have a good life too, right?
Years old. And without going into too much detail here, just having a very difficult upbringing to deal with and just going through and seeing a lot of things that just made me very angry and upset at the world at a very young age. So there's certain adversity, there's certain challenges that just force certain people to step up. And the unfortunate thing is 80% of the time when men are put through that, they don't step up. They don't pull up their boots and become the person they need to become.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, when whatever shows you something that there's something wrong, people just don't step up. That's the problem. Just, you know, and I think that I was doing that right for a really long time. I just wasn't stepping up, right? I was just doing my own thing. I was like, damn, that happened. Yeah, whatever.
To face the challenges. And that's just the unfortunate nature of the world. But you simply cannot be a high value man without putting yourself through the fire. I want you to wake up every single morning, look at yourself in the mirror, and ask yourself honestly, would I follow this man into war? Stare in the mirror and be honest with yourself. What do you see? Now, I know some of you guys are looking at this and going, okay, well, I come from a middle class family or maybe even a wealthy family, or you may have just generally had a very cushy life in general. Well, that's fine as long as you force adversity and hardship on yourself. So whether that be small things, I remember even me when I was 15, 16, I used to do a bunch of cold approach and, it taught me a lot about how the world works. And as men, we all know that anxiety of like looking at a girl and being like,
To be honest, if I had to look myself in the mirror, which I do, mostly, yeah, I wouldn't follow myself as of right now, definitely not. And the anxiety, you sometimes have when you're trying to do things. I wanted to do a vlog, and I was just like, damn, how to approach people, right? But I think this week I'll actually do it, so there'll be a vlog on the way.
Like, do I speak to her? Do I talk to her? All that stuff. So I did a lot of that growing up. And I think even that adversity shaped a lot of who I am today. I will never ever look at a girl 3 times. The first time I might look and acknowledge, oh wow, that's a very beautiful girl. The second time I might look over again. And at that point I have to either make the decision, am I going to be man enough that night or that day to go up and say something and say hi and introduce myself? Or am I not going to do it? But at least it's a skill that I don't think is necessarily too effective for the main goals that most guys want. But it is a skill that's very incredible and teaches you a lot about
Fair enough, though. Fair enough. But before we actually get into the next part of the video, right, I just wanted to say thank y'all a lot for actual the support on these videos. It's been crazy, right? So literally, I wake up 100 views, freaking amazing. We're growing subscribers basically like 10 a day right now. I think it's the average, somewhere about there. But damn, it's be hitting good though. Yeah, so just keep this up. I'ma keep my part of the deal, and yeah, let's get back into the video.
incredible and teaches you a lot about adversity and difficulty. So whether that's learning cold approach, whether that's running a marathon. I had a very difficult summer of 2020 where I had crippling anxiety attacks. And by the way, I'm a person that I've been meditating for the longest time ever. I would sit and I would meditate. I'm like, oh, I can just meditate away. No, it never went away. And the only thing I could think about for 3 weeks straight from morning to night was how I was going to delete myself. And there's a big difference between thinking about it and thinking about how you're going to do it. Once you start getting into the, hey, how am I going to do it? That's a very different level of severity.
Like over the past 2-3 weeks, I keep waking up with this crippling anxiety. And I just don't feel like myself.
The reason I say that is because I made the decision I am going to run a marathon in 2 weeks with no preparation. I'd never run more than 8 kilometers in my entire life. And I made the decision that in 14 days, I'm gonna run 42 kilometers with no training on a cold, rainy day in London in December with no flat roads or perfect route or anything. I felt like after the summer of 2020, after having a very difficult summer, I felt like I had nothing left. I didn't believe in me. I didn't believe in my powers. I didn't believe in how strong I was. So I had to put myself through something difficult to go, you can get through anything. If you can get through that, you can get through anything.
That's a pretty good point, basically, he made, right? So, what he just told, right? Just put a challenge, and if you can beat it, then that, I mean, it probably showed me a lot too, right? Probably showed me a lot. And if you can put through that, you can probably pull through a lot more, right? But get back into.
I feel like I'm starting to get a little soft again, which is why next year I'm dedicating myself to boxing, to really committing to the craft, to getting punched in the face over and over and over and putting myself through that adversity. So that way the year after I can have my first proper fight. Just remember that a man that has never been through hardship can never truly be a man that women respect or follow into war. Now, last thing that you need in order to become a
Yeah, I mean, probably that's right? Not from my experience, but you gotta be through something tough, right? To be a man, or else you're just a baby, just a boy. Still inside, you're still a boy, right? That's what it is. So yeah, that's, that's what it probably is.
high value man is a strong network. And out of all the things that I listed, I'd say this is the least important and the last piece of the puzzle. A lot of people obsess about networking in their first few years of starting this journey. For me, it was all.
To be honest, that was the same thing for me. I was like, damn, should I start networking? Like, what should I do, right? To get these kind of people. And I was like, damn. But I'm not even, anything. I'm not rich or anything. So why should I network, right? I mean, I'm not into that much. I don't have a business or anything. I haven't even started basically. And I was like, damn. It'll probably come right with the years. That's when and I'll need to get it a lot more in the last few years. But yeah, let's get back into the video.
Opposite. I just put my head down, and I'm like, I am gonna become an incredible man. I'm gonna work on myself. I'm gonna do it for more than a decade. And when I pop my head up, the people that I used to look up to or respect, rather than me trying to network with them, they're gonna reach out to me, or we're gonna get introduced as peers, as equals. And that is exactly what has happened the last 2 years. So that's why I'm saying I believe that this is the fifth and last step of this puzzle, but it is extremely important to have a strong network in your corner. There's a lot of things that money alone simply cannot fix. You need a network, you need need a problem solver in your corner. You need people who can protect you, your loved ones, and you need people who can get their hands dirty if need be. You see, there is not a single problem that's been presented to me in the last year or 2 years that I have not been able to fix myself or through my direct network. And let me tell you, you will earn the respect of both men and women if you are that person, if you have that sort of influence, that sort of power, that sort of status, that sort of pull. I mean, even the other day, there was a specific thing that one of my good friends, Hamza, needed help with. Within a few hours, I had taken care of it, and he'd sent me this message. As I said, the world can be very cruel, so once you start winning, you need a network. You know, it's another level to be able to get someone's documents pushed through because you have that level of power in a specific country. It's another level of power to be able to ban someone from a specific venue or specific chain of restaurants because the owner owes you a favor. And it's another level of power when you have people in your corner that make sure that if anyone messes with you or your loved ones, they will face swift and aggressive consequences. And by the way, I don't know what any of this is like. I'm just hypothetically imagining.
Hypothetically imagining. But damn, I mean that's pretty fair enough to be honest. You gotta have a network later on in life, right? Because at this point you don't need it probably as much. You just gotta work on yourself mostly, right? I mean you're still gonna be working on yourself, but yeah, hypothetically speaking, of course, he doesn't have anything to back up that information.
So anyways, this fifth point is really just the cherry on top. You need to address the first 4 points, and then you can really get onto this fifth point and really become someone that's powerful, influential, and whatever the problem is, either you or the problem solvers in your corner that work directly for you, that owe you favors, they will make sure it's taken care of swiftly and professionally. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the 5 ways how you become a high value man. You don't become a high value man by, making a bunch of money and buying a Lambo and then going to the club and popping bottles. And by the way, all that stuff is okay. Maybe 7-8 times a year I go to a club and I just spend money with a bunch of my friends just because why not? We can. And I buy a bunch of expensive stuff and I live a great life, but I don't think that makes me the man. It's the 5 things that I talked about here that really makes you a top 1% man.
That's probably pretty fair enough, right? That's what he says. I mean, I kind of agree with that, right? Since you gotta have so much to actually be the top 1%, right? It's not that easy. It's a lot of things, money, what is it? Just people to back you up, probably, which is the networking, right? You gotta have time, space, just money freedom, basically. So a lot of different things, right? The body, so people have respect for you. Just so many things, and yeah, that's what I basically learned today. Um, so I hope y'all enjoyed this reacting video, right? It's not gonna be as often, but it's just more so I can actually listen and see the actual video, right? Many times. But yeah, there's a pretty good video coming out tomorrow, and I'll be filming some vlogs in the center tomorrow, which is gonna be pretty crazy. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Like, of course, subscribe, and comment down below if anything was wrong. What do you expect from me? Any suggestions? And yeah, have a great week and peace.